y'all. I hope y'all doing well today. Yeah, I got on that battle worn garment. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what time it is. Make sure that y'all go on and pick you up one from truejew.org. All colors. Everything is ready for you to go. It's a children's size, it's a woman's size, and it's a man's size. And I'm going to keep on adding different garments to the website as I'm led to. As a matter of fact, I'm about to add the I will not give up, I will not give in. I was born a champion, I was made to win garments on the website as too. I got another big announcement for y'all in a few minutes. But before I do that, I wanted to talk on and touch on this article that I read. Actually, my wife made me aware of it a few days ago, maybe last week sometime. And Yahoo News had just put an article out on it. And when I was made aware of it, it was actually the study itself. It was actually the paper from the university putting it out. And I believe it was Stockholm University put this thing out. And it was detailing how rainwater now, okay, I want y'all to hear me on this. Rainwater across the entire planet has been deemed unsafe to drink. And of course, many places on earth, especially rural communities that rely on rainwater, don't just use the water to drink. Many people use the rainwater for water collection, to water crops with, to clean clothes with, to use it as an extra source of water, so that they don't necessarily have to tap into any rural municipality or city municipality type water in order to fulfill their water needs, right? And when I read this article, one of the first things that I thought about was Revelation chapter 8, verses 10 through 11. And instead of paraphrasing it, I just went on and wrote it down real quick. And I want to read that to you because the other night we was out having our weekly bonfire. My family and I, we like to do a bonfire every week if we can, now that we're on the land. And we just like to simply get together, decompress after a long day of work, and we like to reflect, okay? And we do that over what we call the sacred flame. And we just sit down, we start a bonfire, we collect kindling and we collect firewood someplace on the property. It's plenty of it. And we bring it to our fire circle. We set the fire, we get it cracking off before the sun completely sets in the distance. And then we sit down and we enjoy each other's company. And usually, when we do this, we're able to see the stars at night shining very brightly. We're able to have a clear sky outside. And normally we'll see a ton of light ships going all sorts of directions, the chariots of the Most High, watching over us, doing what they were declared to do or doing what they were decreed to do, excuse me, as far as watching over us is concerned, and that fleet that I always tell y'all about. But the last bonfire we had, some peculiar things were happening. I know most people might be like, well, that's kind of peculiar, bro, that you're talking about light ships and angels flying over you and your family. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, it might be peculiar to you for sure. But what definitely stood out the other evening was that we saw many streaks across the sky. Now, my understanding of the stars and how I see these things is they're in the firmament fixed. You could read the book of Enoch, you could read the book of Jubilees, the book of Jasher, these types of books that describe the inner workings of what's written in the Bible in between the lines will tell you that, I don't know how y'all feel about the flat world, the flat earth, but these books, and as well as books like in the books of Psalms, will detail how, and Isaiah will detail how this world is on a flat plane. That's where we get the word planet from. Like if you break down the word planet, plane, et, plane is in the word, right? And this plane, as I begin to look at it, it's necessary for the world to be on a plane because that's how we all are going to witness all of the supernatural and spiritual effects that are going to be taking place throughout the world. And I wanted to read this to you real quick. Revelation chapter 8, verses 10 through 11. Now, for y'all who are sticklers of the Bible, who don't really want to rock with the Bible anymore, I guess that's cool. Me, I'm the type of person who likes to use all of my resources that have been made available to me. I like to use all of the ancient books, especially that I can rely on or call on to pull information from, because whether you believe it or not, even the so-called New Age community right now, it's ancient knowledge being repackaged in a modern time. And a lot of people are putting their own spin and juice on these things and then representing it as if it's brand new. And so people are like, whoa, this is a new concept, or this is something new. And I just be sitting back laughing because I know where it comes from. So instead of me trying to chop up and dice up and represent a new religion or represent a new movement or something like that, I'd rather say, let me stand firm in what has been resonating with me my entire life, but maybe I didn't fully understand the nuances of. And as I continue to mature as a child of the Most High, those things will be revealed to me so I can then share with y'all, my family, right? So Revelation chapter 8, verse 10 through 11, it highlights this time that we're living in a very strange way. And I want y'all to think about this, marinate on it. And if you're moved to, leave me a comment describing what you feel about this in the comment thread of this video. But Revelation chapter 8, verses 10 through 11 state, the third angel sounded his trumpet, and a great star blazing like a torch fell from the sky on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters turned bitter, and many people died from the waters that had become bitter. Now, when I think about those verses in that chapter, Revelation chapter 8, I know many of us have read that before and was kind of just, whenever we talk about these so-called doomsday happenings and these spiritual events that seem to reflect the end of this era that we're living in, it can be worrisome. It can be very scary. It can be overwhelming with all the distractions that we have. Reading something like that and then wanting to sit down and watch a basketball game or a football game, which one would you choose? If you had a choice right now I'm hoping you choose to dig deeper into this truth, into what we're actually dealing with behind the scenes. But most people, they would choose the basketball game. They would choose to watch Steph Curry put up 30, 35 and just forget about what's going on in reality. Me, that's why I had to make this channel. Your brother True Jew not like that. Okay, I had to really look at this thing and say, okay, what are we being presented with in the land, and what does the family really need to understand right now, moving forward, and how can I deliver this information in a loving, caring, non-fear based way, even though it's some pretty heavy stuff, right? Well, that's what I'm here for today. We saw those stars streaking across the sky. Now, that's not me saying it was wormwood. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is those stars streaking across the sky just so happen to correlate with this article and with with the University of Stockholm's deep report on the fresh water sources being compromised right now by a series of chemicals that humans, so-called humans, and we know these are children of the wicked one doing this, have released into the air through manufacturing plants and through different chemical equations that have been created in order to fulfill everyday necessities, like the creation of pots and pans that are coated with this chemical to keep them from sticking, or from different tools that we use on a daily basis that we have kind of taken for granted because we don't really care as a global family where these things come from or how they're created. We just know we need them. We use them, right? And so Stockholm University, or the University of Stockholm, excuse me, it's kind of funny, Stockholm syndrome, now that I think about it, dun dun dun. But the University of Stockholm, they released this report detailing how there's a couple chemicals called PFOAs, and what's the other one? PFUs, I want to say PFOAs is one, and PFUAs might be another one. But the idea is that these chemicals have been released at an all-time high, and they're going into the sky, and they're called forever chemicals. That's what they call them, the type of chemicals that don't dissipate with the environment. Okay, they're the type of chemicals that once they're in the environment, the half-life on them is very long. So much so that if those chemicals continue to be produced, they just accumulate on top of themselves, never having a chance to dissolve or dissipate before a new batch of them should be created. And of course, the EPA, Environmental Protective Agency, and other agencies globally have long been aware of these chemicals, but they have the nerve to say things like, oh, well, we're going to regulate them only so much, and making statements like, well, when we regulate these chemicals, we think it's only safe for 70 parts per trillion to be in the water, and anything over 70 parts per trillion, we're going to say that that's not safe for consumption. I'm like, no parts per trillion need to be in this water, right? And it makes you kind of think, it makes me think about how sensitive the ecosystem is, one, how sensitive the creation of the Most High is, how fragile. Y'all, yeah, I don't want y'all to run away. I want y'all to get this good food where it's been stopping at either. So please excuse me for that. Every talking about this real, that's what happens. You could expect that. So we gonna see what's up real quick. I'm gonna give it a chance to catch up. But on my side, all them bars is up. That's why I be like, wow. But remember who we dealing with, family. Bear with your brother on this. Remember who we dealing with. Whenever it's time to go on the air, remember who the prince of the power of the air is. Okay? Just remember that. And remember, if I was up here talking about booty shaking, and I was up here talking about the thoughts and the women's and getting down and going to the club and partying and all that, you better believe this live stream would be going hard. It wouldn't have a single break in it. So keep that in mind. But when I'm talking about these righteous things, and I'm talking about the things that we really need to pay attention to as a global family, as a people, look what happens. Okay. So we might as well just get used to that. You know what I mean? Just get used to it. It ain't no love lost. If you gotta go, if the feed is throwing you off and making you nauseated and all that, bruh. And the feed is making you nauseated and you like, man, I want to listen to bruh, but his feed keep chopping. I get it. So hopefully we can fix that. You know what I mean? But right now, y'all got to remember, I'm out here in the country where it ain't no too many electric poles. It ain't none of that stuff. So for me personally, I feel like, if we all got back to the country, right? Or not even all, I won't even push that. If we was in a place like our great grandparents was, or grandparents was, where you still got to use kerosene lamps and all of that, you notice the energy is different in those places. Whenever you see those movies where uh somebody finna sell their soul, for instance, right? And they gotta go to the crossroads, right? Them places ain't never in the city. I have yet to see a movie where somebody sold their soul on a intersection. It's always back in the back country someplace. Ain't it though? So I'm not gonna say this is where the devil roam, but I'm gonna say the devil probably roam in places that's still open. You see what I mean? And then the devil go into the city, but hide out in places that's rural and country, like where the energy is a lot more vibrant, because the devil want to be like the Most High. Y'all got to remember these things. Remember everything that you see. One of the keys about this time that we're living in, y'all, is this is when you got to go into your bag, like we like to say, man, I'm in my bag. Well, your bag got to be spiritual. It got to be filled up with spiritual tools. It got to be filled up with everything that you gonna need spiritually to endure in this time that we living in. Remember, I don't like to be a bearer of bad news. I don't like to be a Daniel Downer. But the point of the matter of this channel is to remind you of where we are and to be a distraction. So if it's distractions all around you, 23 hours out the day, when you tap in with your bruh True Jew, it's that 30 minutes out the day where I'm not going to allow you to be distracted. I'm going to do something that's going to make you remember and recall what your purpose is, what your calling is on a real spiritual level. Remember, y'all, these is avatars. I'm in my avatar right now. Who you see on the screen is not who I am. Y'all got to remember this. When you stand in front of the mirror, who you see is not who you is. You are the spirit. You are the unique soul placed inside of this avatar, and you got a purpose. It's way beyond this physical flesh, though. It's way beyond this. You feel me? We just like to dress this up. We just like to we get threw off by the looks and by how we are presenting ourselves to the world. But in reality, if we could all have X-ray vision or soul vision or spirit vision and see the soul or spirit of the individual before we see the flesh, I guarantee you we'd be out here rocking a lot differently. But that would then affect our free will choice. You see what I'm saying? That would then affect how we move, okay? And free will must not be compromised. Every single person here must choose to do the right thing or choose to do the wrong thing. I choose, listen, y'all, what I'm choosing to do is get on this live and share something that's affecting me based off what I see spiritually. That's my choice. I could get on here and choose to ignore those things and then get on here and do what I like to call a distraction. I could provide y'all with a distraction. Then that might make you feel good for the moment. But then when sugar honey iced tea hit the fan and you sitting up there and can't access the internet no more, you can't access YouTube no more, none of the apps work no more, none of the distractions that would have threw you off from what you really was supposed to be focusing on work no more, and you got to look that thing straight in the face. Hey, that's going to be on you. And I would rather you be able to look me straight in my face right now and at least consider removing yourself from distractions just for a moment so that you can get a different perspective on what's really going on, for something for you to consider from a young brother like myself. Not no granddad. I love all my grandparents, all my elders, but it hit different when it's your brother that's your age, that's your generation. It hit different when, just like you, I could be out here doing whatever I'm finna do, whatever I want to do. I could be sliding and everything too, but I'm choosing to talk to y'all right now about this. And it's like, dang, why is bruh talking to us about this? Because I see something in the air. As simple as that. I see what's going on. It's been a blessing for my eyes to be open to see this now. Where I will get in trouble is if I see these things and I don't speak on them to those who need to hear it. Okay? Go on to the lost sheep of the house of Israel first. Now, Yasharala, Isolele, it depends on who you are. But that word Israel, that's the English version. Okay? If we're talking about the Bantu version, Africa, Bantu people, Isolele, okay? Because that's where the whole story took place anyway, right there in Africa, y'all. Yeah, your brain touched on that yet, because I'm just waiting. I'm just sitting here waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. Because y'all got to know that the Bible is an African book. I hope y'all know that, right? I hope you know when you don't read that Bible like that and you don't see it from the African perspective that it was written under and written through and written in, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I know it's difficult because all the images that we've seen, the colonialized images that we see in the Bible, it got to do with people from the image standpoint that don't look nothing like us. But when you understand that that Bible is an African book written by African people for African people to deliver and live in those tenets and deliver those tenets to the world, oh my goodness, that's when it start coming alive in all kind of different ways. Why you think Ethiopia still ain't got rid of the book? Why you think Ethiopia still has the largest collection of original Bibles to date? Do you think that's a mistake? Why haven't Ethiopia, out of all the countries in Africa, been colonized? Do you think that's a mistake? This ain't the video for that right now, but I want y'all to think. Do you think that that's a mistake? Do you think it's a mistake that Ethiopia is the place where the structural Ark of the Covenant resides? The famous Ark of the Covenant. Do y'all think that's a mistake? I don't. So when I think about where I'm at right now, I think it's amazing that my bloodline can come all the way from East Africa. I'm going to touch on my genomic video soon. That's going to blow y'all mind, okay? But my bloodlines are ancient, and they come all the way from East Africa. And somehow, some way, my bloodlines that I'm a inheritor of, then came all the way from East Africa, then crossed over East Africa through Central Africa, all the way to West Africa to somehow be gathered up from the shores of West Africa and brought over there to Virginia and North Carolina. How? And then I'm born in the Bay Area, about as far away as you could get from West Africa and from East Africa. How? Do you think that's a mistake? I don't think it's a mistake when we live in this era, when we need to be able to share the truth worldwide. They did us a favor. I know people like, bro, don't start talking about slavery, cause like they did, like these folks that did us a favor by taking us from Africa. Nah, that ain't the stance I'm on. I wish I could go back right now, but that wish is very minimal because I have to be grateful and thankful in the now. I'm thankful for right now, but don't get it twisted. I know where I'm from. I know where my blood is from. Okay, so don't get it twisted. I'm just saying what I'm saying because I want y'all to think. But back to what I originally started. They saying that the rainwater worldwide is compromised. They saying that the rainwater right now is unsafe to drink, unsafe to use. And I started thinking about this. And I was like, wow, that's what led me back to Revelation chapter 8, verses 10 and 11, right? And I started thinking about this. And I'm like, yo, could it be that these are the beginning signs of wormwood? Because the other night we saw about 6 or 7 different stars streak. Now, when we talk about these stars are not what they present to us in science and NASA. Okay, many of the constellations are fixed within the firmament. This is why I brought up the flat Earth earlier, because to understand the flat Earth means you also understand the firmament. And at the very beginning of the book, the Bible talks about how the world, this planet, was created, and that there's a firmament separating the waters above from the waters below. And you have to realize that why the sky is blue. I remember my sons, they used to ask me, Papa, why is the sky is blue? Just like every child will ask their parent eventually, why is the sky blue? And a lot of us, we regurgitate that answer we heard. Oh, baby boy, baby girl, you know, see what had happened was, see that sun behind me right there? Yeah. See that sun, what it do is it reflects off all the ocean water, all the lakes, all the rivers, it reflects. Okay, it reflects. And then what happens is when it reflects, all of that reflection, it goes off the top of off top of the river water, the ocean water, and then it shoot up to the sky, and that's why the sky blue, baby boy. And your children look at you just like this. How about this answer? You go back to the beginning of the Bible, and it tell you right there in the beginning of Genesis. It tell you right there that a firmament was created. Now you got to understand what a firmament is. What's a firmament? A firmament is any type of structure or blockage. Now, in this case, the firmament is glass. It's made out of a crystalline substance and it's very thick. Okay. This firmament acts as a shield or a dome to the planet. Just like when you go over to Granny house and you know how on that dining room table, she always had a fresh pound cake, a fresh German chocolate cake cooked. She always had a fresh pie that was baked and it would always be on that plate right there in the center of the table. And then it's a glass lid that go over so you can look through it, but you can't touch it. Granny said, you better not touch my cake. You got to wait till this food is done. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yo, know what I'm talking about. Well, the same way Granny had that plate with that cake on it and that glass lid over top of it, that's the same way the Most High got us sitting on a plate of a world, a plate of a planet. They've been trying to crack the firmament for years. Yes, brother, that's what Nimrod and the Tower of Babel was all about. And the reason that they're trying to crack that firmament is because they want war with the Most High. German chocolate cake glass soda. We don't live in infinite darkness, spinning on a ball 1,000 miles per hour. That theory makes us feel what my brother Joaquin G say. Hold on, what he say? Let me get that back. That theory makes us feel insignificant. Yes, brother. Yes, brother. You totally correct. It don't make no sense. And their theory behind that, to add to it, is what they call centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is that force that when you spin something real fast and whatever you spinning in something, it sticks to it because the spin is so powerful compared to the ratio size of that thing that's being spun, right? Well, Listen, this world was made flat. Now, not entirely flat. Obviously, we have mountain ranges and things of that nature. That's not what I'm talking about. This world, though, this earth is more disc-like so that the dome, the firmament, could go on top of it. The sky is blue because there are cosmic waters above the firmament. That's why the sky is blue. There are more waters on top of us. Okay? So you have the firmament, you have the cosmic waters, and then you have the waters below, the clouds and all of those things, the moisture that carries water to release it down to the earth. And then you have the waters that are actually on the earth called oceans, lakes, rivers, streams. And they're telling us now, University of Stockholm is telling us that all of the rainwater that's falling right now is unsafe to drink. And I'm laughing about this, but it's kind of like dun 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 because if the rainwater is now unsafe to drink on a global level, on a worldwide level, excuse me, because global implies a ball, if it's on a planetary level that the water is now unsafe to drink, the rainwater, then that would mean the lakes are unsafe, the freshwater streams are unsafe. That would mean we already know the oceans and the creatures in the ocean are having a terrible time because of nuclear waste and nuclear runoff. Okay. So we know that the oceans are in trouble already. We know that as the glacial waters melt or the glacial ice melts, that those waters are going into the ocean. Now that's okay until the ecosystem of those freshwater deposits melt and go into the salt water and begin to mix it and compromise the ecosystem that way. Okay, so that's not a good thing once that happens. But they have the nerve to say that all of those frozen bodies in the Antarctic are now compromised because on a planetary level the water itself is unsafe to drink. So now I'm questioning, what about our bottled water? What about the water that we shower with daily that's in the water reservoirs and all of those water areas that, hold the fresh water for people in the city municipalities and all of this? What's up with that water? So I see a twofold thing happening. One, they trying to get rural people to stop collecting water because they want to control the water. We used to have this joke that eventually they're going to start selling air. I think in China, as a matter of fact, they started bottling up the air and they started selling air like inhaler containers, right? So you can actually purchase air. And I was like, now what fool is gonna go on and purchase some air? But in this day and era that we're living in right now, it's not surprising that air is being sold. It's not surprising that water is being controlled and being funneled in such a way where only specific people are getting this water. Now I have to question, what about the water in the earth? What about groundwater, well water? Yeah, well water will be regulated in some states. Bruh, I was just talking about well water, and there you go. See, they want the well water regulated, and they're gonna try to say it has all sorts of little viral bacterias in it. Watch and see, because the well water is going to be one of our last sources, and they don't want people tapping into that well water. And you could go on YouTube right now, family, and all of y'all could go on YouTube, and you could learn how to build your own well if you have the proper tools. You could dig about what a good well is about 1,000 feet deep or so. You could dig that yourself if you had the fortitude to do so and actually make it happen that way. But when you mix everything that's going on and you can parallel it to what the Bible is saying, that's when the Bible is brought to light. You see, and so often we're inundated with scriptural references and inundated with scriptural stories and the scriptural narrative without it being made real for us. And that's one of the things I know I was called to do too, is somehow make this thing real. Okay, take with the words of this book and to represent it in a real way so that our people, whoever taps into these live streams and to these videos on this channel, will have an opportunity to do their own due diligence and to marinate on these things themselves. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. And that's all I set out to do. It ain't no harm done. It ain't no harm, no foul, nothing like that. It's just a matter of, listen, y'all, your bruh sees this. I'm telling you what I see instead of withholding it in myself and waiting for the last day to come where I'm not going to be able to talk to none of y'all about it. I'd rather get it out there right now, and hopefully you pick up what I'm putting down. You look into it for yourself, and then you could come to your own conclusions about what you want to do. So often we've been pacified. We've been too, hey, little bumblebee, we've been too pacified out here, and we've been put into this comfort zone. And those who know about what I'm saying, like, would you believe if you could actually be a bumblebee on the wall or a fly on the wall and actually sit in on these conferences, actually sit in on these huge global or planetary delegations that have to deal with the shadow government? I know y'all be hearing me talk about the shadow government, and I think sometimes when I say it, y'all think I'm just saying it like shadow government. What is bruh talking about? Man, I'm talking about the shadow government, a real government that funnels trillions of dollars, zillions of dollars into their systems, into their programs to take care of them and theirs. Okay? Anybody that has sold their soul to the devil has been tricked and deceived into thinking that all these trillions of dollars that they're funneling into their secret programs are going to save them from the return of the Mashiach. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to see. Okay? This is the crux of it all. No pun intended. But this is the nitty gritty, okay? So if your bro could get on here and talk this stuff, if I could do the due diligence, if I could sit back and marinate on this myself, I feel like I'd be a fool for not sharing it to y'all. Even though if I look like a fool sharing it, I would be crazy in my mind not to share it to y'all, even if I look crazy sharing it. Y'all get it? Y'all get it? So listen, it's a lot going on right now. It's just like that scene on the Men in Black, the first one. Remember Men in Black at the very end of the movie when he had the female partner, when Will Smith character had the female partner, and then they go to the newspaper stand at the end, and they pulling up the National Enquirer and the Sun magazine and all of that stuff, and they be like, "Oh yeah, this is how we know what's going on." Like, and most people will think this stuff is crazy, right? But that's what they use to figure out what's really going on in the world, and then that's their next case. That's what they go to get with their next case and everything, right? Well, that's what this channel is. It's like, bruh, you either know it's real, or you like, nope, I'm not dealing with it. I want to put my head back in the hole. I want to go back into ostrich mode, right? So I'm just hoping that y'all don't. I'm hoping that everybody on this channel, at least that support this channel, at least give what I'm saying an opportunity. Just give it a chance. Okay? Give it a chance. Okay? Just give it a chance and see what I'm saying to be true or not. All right? So, with that being said, like I said, I'm not talking about wormwood and officially hit and all of that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if all of these heavy duty plastics is in the air right now, and the corporations and the government, world governments are aware of these plastics, and they long knew that they was there, but they was gonna act like it wasn't. And now all of a sudden there's a cry out to basically say rainwater, the water that's supposed to be fresh, the freshest ionized water is falling from the sky, tainted. Then what does that mean about not only the water, but what also waters, what the water waters? So what about the grass? What about all the crops? What about all the food that's grown? What about all the veggies, the fruit, the root vegetables, the roots? What about everything? Like, what does that mean for all of us, right? Water is a building block of life. We're so much percent of water. What does that mean? Well, could that tie into what Revelation was saying about many people will die because of the bitterness of the water and the water being unsuitable to drink? I've already seen since 2015, this has been going on, what I'm about to share with you, about waters all over the world turning red. The hours at hand, sun movement hand is the black sun. Oh, I'm gonna do a black sun video too. One of my sons captured the black sun, y'all, and I was just hesitant to put it out. Our hand is the sun's movement, minute hand is the black sun. What does that say? Is the black sun at the center of the earth circling slow around a magnetic mountain? All compasses point to it. Hey, that's game. Right on, brother. Right on, brother King. That's game right there. Yeah. And I actually have footage, raw footage, y'all. Raw footage. My oldest son captured it on his tablet. His tablet. He didn't even know it. He was just filming us, y'all. We was all outside. He was just filming us. I uploaded the footage to my computer to give him room on his tablet to put like more games or something on it. And when I looked at the footage and I saw it, wow, the hour hand is the black sun. Wow. Y'all, it really is a black sun. I want y'all to know that. It really is a black sun. It's two suns. One of them is the one that's behind me. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I bet you the black sun is right behind, right in front of this one. I'm telling y'all the real. And how he captured it, it still blows my mind. But I was kind of hesitant to put it out because my children was a lot younger back then. And I just didn't want the type of, attention on them that video would produce. But it might be time to go head on and release that video uncut so y'all can see what I'm saying. Okay. But it's a lot to consider right now. I feel like everybody that rock with me on this channel right here, y'all are aware of these things or at least have considered them. And I like to use my voice as a confirmation, a confirmatory voice, so that y'all could at least go out and see what's to it for yourself even further. Now, before I end this live stream, I want to share something with y'all. My book is ready. Now, I've been having all the formats of the book, um, but like in print, it takes a little while to do certain things. So I want to show y'all right now. My books are here and they're ready to go. Okay? Once again, the title of the book is From Clutter to Cleanliness, The Renewal of a Mind, a Success Story by True Jew. Now, these is the real books. Now, of course, you could go on truejew.org and you could purchase the book in digital format. There's 3 digital formats you can purchase the book by. But I was thinking the first 100 books that I sell, I'm going to personalize. The first 100 physical copies, I'm going to personalize for y'all. So if you purchase a copy and you need some words of motivation or some words of inspiration written within the cover of the book, you want my signature, or you want the book to be signed with what number it is, like 1 out of 100, or 2 out of 100, or 3 out of 100, that way, okay, this is the book right here, okay? From Clutter to Cleanliness, The Renewal of a Mind by True Jew, a success story. It moves slower than the sun we see. Oh, that other one? Okay. Y'all see the book? Okay. So these are the physical copies. This the backside. Look, it's for real. It got the ISBN number on it. You welcome, Zumba Pros. It got the ISBN number on it, the barcode for scanning. And this is the book that's going to be in Walmart. That's the physical copy. That's going to be in Target, in Walmart, at Barnes and Nobles, all of those places. Okay, so it's for global distribution or worldwide distribution. And like I said, the digital copies are available all over the place. But I usually ask y'all to go straight to my website, truejew.org, and y'all can purchase a copy this way and that way. And then now that the physical copies are ready to rock and roll, go ahead and copy one of these. If you buy it directly from me at my website, truejew.org, all you got to do is leave me a note and ask me to personalize it for you. And right here in the front cover, let me see. Right here in the front cover, I'll go ahead on and write you a special note. And you'll know it's just from me. So if you ever get on hard times and you need to go visit Pawn Stars or something like that in a few years or something, then you could go and take the book to Pawn Stars and you could say, look, True Jew really signed this for me. Look, it's his real signature right there. This got to be worth at least $25,000. This at least got to be worth $50,000, Rick. Come on now. I ain't watched Pawn Stars a heck of long. I'm surprised I remember dude's name. But that's a joke. But listen, y'all could take this and you will have your own copy. What I want to do real quick is let me just read you the foreword. Okay? Let me read y'all the foreword. If y'all give me a thumbs up in the comment section real quick and you want me to read the foreword, I'll read the foreword. Okay, so I'm gonna be looking in the comments right now. Y'all want me to read the foreword so y'all can get a taste of what this is? Y'all want to see how I was led to do this? If y'all got time, I got time. Somebody, all it takes is one person to say, "Yeah, bro, read the foreword." I'm gonna read it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Oh, don't nobody want me to read the foreword? Oh, okay. All right. Zumba Pro say read the foreword. So I'm gonna read the foreword, okay? I'm gonna start with a quote from one of my dear brothers. Okay, family, Smiley Smith. Oh yeah, I got that Smith blood in me too. I'm Smith blood too. Represent. That's on my maternal side. I'm Smith blood too. That's what's up. So all right, here we go. This is from my Igbo brother from Nigeria, my Igbo brother, Chukwuemeka Chidi, okay? Chukwuemeka Chidi. He says, be of strong will, even when nobody has done it before. It takes a strong willpower for one to bring his vision to manifestation. You have to be intelligent, organized, courageous, even when nobody has ever done it before you. If you work consistently and constructively, the world has no choice but to let you through and eventually give you your own niche. That's my Igbo brother, Chukwuemeka, Chukwuemeka, Chukwuemeka Chidi. My bad, y'all. Going from English to Igbo ain't so easy a lot of times. All right. So look, I'm gonna start the forward now. These are my words. From clutter to cleanliness, the renewal of a mind, a success story, will guide you into the subject matter of self healing, learning how to identify your intuition, self empowerment, uncovering some of the most effective affirmation techniques, and many other methods the author has adopted into his life since arriving to Earth. The aspect of this book that sticks out the most is quite possibly the perspective from which all of this life altering information is viewed from. The author shares his personal experience, one which is so far from the typical allure and grandeur of the so called New Age community that it offers us a rare look into a worldview that many people don't often experience. This particular worldview is constructed in such a way that those who are blessed with their own experiential worldview outside of the one shared in this book wouldn't be keen to articulate it from a basis of personal experience. In other words, every link found on the chain of life is intrinsically connected. Then there are a group of individuals whom have the experiential worldview described in this book, but don't have the mentality or desire to articulate the experience, which eventually leads to a non-documented moment in physical space that will never be extrapolated upon or made available to be carefully dissected and studied for future enlightenment. If this book was a gift that you would have never thought to purchase yourself, and you've read this far but have already begun to doubt the validity of the content, or even told yourself, none of this describes me so far, why should I keep reading? Then this book is in the hands of the one that it is definitely supposed to be in, and I highly suggest you continue reading it. From clutter to cleanliness, the renewal of a mind, a success story, will have you reading with anticipation and excitement each time you pick it up. It is filled with anecdotes prescribed by so called urban communities, capturing a certain flavor not typically seen in a work of this magnitude. The author provides you with a real time, successfully implemented approach to living in the 21st century, along with tips covering a vast range of knowledge kept away and hidden from the masses, or Gen Pop, another term for the masses referred to in this book. It is advised that you relax, clear your mind, and keep an open heart regarding the different concepts you will read within these pages. Although some of the concepts and ideas presented may be entirely new to you or initially make you feel uncomfortable, nothing presented here is meant to hurt or confuse you. Each and every one of us get to experience our own unique journey, with that uniqueness binding us into collectivity. It is our pursuit towards inner growth that resonates with people all across the world. There's always a goal set, a mark achieved, and a long standing record that is eventually broken. Just like there's always some new goal being set in order to distinguish one member of society from another. The honest truth is, the earth and who we are as humans is one huge performance stage where we are all serving as the living camera system for the creatorist creator of this universe. Now, if you simply take a moment to trust the intuition within, the voice that carried you to this place in time, continuing to read, you will see how all of this and more applies to you right now. A word, the kingdom of God. Very truly, I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again. I finally get it. Unless you change your thinking, aka become born again, you'll always believe the kingdom of God is outside of you. Renew your mind, aka change your thinking, and you will find and know that the kingdom of God is within you. Science has proven that what we see begins inside of us. Then we see it outside of ourselves as the images our brains register. This is why it is so important to change our thinking and focus on the kingdom to come. Leave this wicked kingdom alone. We have a doper one on the way. Imagine, once all who are meant to see the kingdom see it within first, then what is seen from within by the many will manifest itself outside of all those who looked within. That is why the kingdom of God will appear and be seen in the blink of an eye. Neither shall they say, look there or look here, for the kingdom of heaven is within you. Luke chapter 17, verse 21. In other words, the kingdom of God will not appear until the children of God, aka the little gods and goddesses, beginning with the lost sheep, understand this great key. So, action. Go to the downtrodden, the poor, the street people. Share this great news with them that we hold within us the keys to heaven and that we've been redeemed as children of the Most High God back to itself so that the Word who became flesh might be realized and honored within us all. Amen. Ashe. True Jew. From clutter to cleanliness, the renewal of a mind, a success story. So that's the foreword of this book that I've written for all of y'all. And that's the foreword that I hope inspires y'all to not only pick this book up for yourself, but also read through its pages and to receive some of that enlightenment that I've received and have been moved to share with y'all, especially in this time that's so tumultuous, in this time that's like it's wild out here, right? So listen, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope that you're able to find some benefit from that even right now without delving deeper into the book. And I hope that it truly inspires you not only to want to read it, but also to want to take up your own mantle and finish that project that you have set forth to do, that has been placed within you to do. It might not be a book, it might be a piece of art, it might be that next great song that we need to hear that's going to touch our hearts and steer our thinking back toward the Most High. Whatever utilities and whatever tools you have at your whim, at your fingertips, now it is the time to take that mind that you have been blessed with and to use those fingertips and to finish what it is that you started or that was placed within you to start and then finish. Okay. So I just want that to be an inspiration to you all. I want that to motivate you to finish what it is you need to finish and get it done because, hey, when it's time to stand in front of that throne, just like rem- remember that book or those verses in the Bible, that parable of the field workers who was given talents. They was given talents, right? And the owner of the field left after he distributed talents. And when he returned, he expected those talents to be multiplied, to not only be used, but to be multiplied. And the servants that sat on the talents and said, no, no, master, I didn't do anything with my talents because you gave them to me and I just wanted to protect them. And here they are back to you. That servant was scoffed at. That servant was looked at like, what you mean you didn't do nothing with the talent? I gave you the talent not to sit on it and use it. I gave you the talent to multiply it and to do something special with it. So when I came back, you had some fruits to show with it. You had some work to show with it. I choose to use my talents like the other servant did, where that other servant took that talent and said, you know what, boss? I got the talent. And instead of sitting on it, I actually used it. And I began using it so well that I began to replicate those talents. I began to multiply those talents. Now look how much talents I got. And the master was like, see, you did right. Now I'm about to pay you and reward you even more because you did right by the talents that I initially gave you and you replicated those talents. That's what I'm reminding y'all to do. Everybody on this live stream got a talent. Everybody got a gift. Everybody got a special skill that don't nobody on earth do the same way you do. And we need that. Okay, whatever that thing is, we need that, especially at this time, especially when you're using those things to bring glory to the kingdom of the Most High. All right? So, look, it's your brother True Jew tapping in with y'all the only way I know how. Battle worn. All right? Yes, Matthew 25, verses 14 through 30. Thank you. That's exactly the parable I'm talking about. Woo! Somebody listening out there. All praises. So look, it's your brother True Jew tapping in with y'all the only way I know how. Like I said, it's battle worn on mine, baby. And I want y'all to remember y'all battle worn too in this spiritual war. You can get these shirts from truejew.org, just like you could purchase the book and other self-help materials from truejew.org. They there, very reasonably priced. I'm not trying to tax y'all or nothing like that. You know, this is just to simply get the word out and make sure that it's a lasting thing, because as the word was put through me, I'm sharing it with y'all. As the purpose was put into me, I'm hoping to invigorate y'all to utilize the purpose placed in you. I could do it, y'all could do it for sure too. All right. Remember, I love you to life always. Most High Mama Papa will, and I'll be back with another one. But until then, until next time, y'all make sure to stay blessed, stay vigilant. Shalom from the family in North Carolina. Shalom back to your family. Smith blood in the house for sure. You know, I love you, all of y'all. I love all y'all to life, not death, to life. All right? Y'all tap in with me again soon. Gone.